Good morning and welcome to the Daily Light Devotion. I hope all of you have had a wonderful Friday and looking forward to today, the weekend, and looking forward to today, that is second day of May. Today we're going to look at 1 Kings chapter 3 and 3 to 5 in the Old Testament, and Luke chapter 23 we'll begin. We'll look at the first 26 verses. That means from 1 to 26. In 1 Kings chapter 3, 4, 5, the theme is God's given wisdom, righteous judgment, and peaceful provision. We see the early reign of Solomon. These chapters highlight a defining choice for wisdom, a powerful example of justice, and a season of peace and prosperity. Right. This is a picture of of a kingdom flourishing under God's guidance. It reminds us that true success comes from God's wisdom, not human ability. Chapter 3, God appears to Solomon and says, "Ask whatever you want from me to give you." Solomon could have asked wealth, long life, victory over enemies, but instead he asked for hearing God's voice. That means it's wisdom, that he could discern God's voice, right? And God is pleased, right? So he wanted to hear God's voice to lead the people, to lead the kingdom. He said, "I'm not good enough. I don't have that." That's true understanding of human weakness and ability. God is pleased, and God gives him wisdom, right? So God gives him exceptional wisdom, not just wisdom, and also wealth and honor. When we then see the wisdom in action. Two women claim the same baby. Solomon proposes a test, and the true mother is revealed. This points us to Jesus, the source of perfect wisdom, the one who sees truth clearly. Right? When we seek God's wisdom first, everything else falls into place. Chapter 4, under Solomon's rule, the nation experiences peace on every side. People live in safety and security, and there is abundance and stability. Solomon's wisdom becomes known far and wide. Leaders from other nations come to hear him. This is a picture of order, prosperity, and God's blessing. This reflects Jesus' kingdom, a kingdom of peace, a kingdom of righteousness. God's wisdom brings stability and peace into our lives. Chapter 5, Solomon begins preparing to build the temple. He gathers material, workers, and skilled laborers, and there is a cooperation between nations. Everything is organized with purpose. The goal is to build a place where God's will dwell. This points forward to something greater. Jesus is the true temple. Through him, we have access to God. God is building something greater than structures. He is building life centered around him. Right? What are some of the key takeaways? Seek God's wisdom above everything else. True leadership is rooted in humility and dependence on God. God brings peace and provision through his guidance. God's ultimate plan is to dwell with his people. Moving over to the New Testament, Luke chapter 23, verses 1 to 26. The theme is innocence, injustice, and substitution of the Savior. These verses, Jesus is brought before the political authorities. We see false accusations, compromised judgment, and a shocking exchange. These passages reveal how perfect innocence is condemned while guilties are set free. Verses 1 to 5, the leaders bring Jesus to Pilate. They accuse him of misleading the nation, opposing authority, claiming to be the king. Pilate questions Jesus but finds no basis for a charge. Still, the crowd insists. Jesus stands innocent, no wrongdoing, no guilt, yet he's treated as a criminal. Jesus is rejected not because he was guilty, but because the hearts were hardened. And verses 6 to 12, Pilate sends Jesus to Herod. Herod is curious. He wants to see a miracle, but Jesus remains silent. In response, he is mocked, dressed in a robe, treated with contempt, and then sent back to Pilate. Jesus does not perform to prove himself. He doesn't chase approval of men. He stands in quiet strength. The truth does not need to shout. It stands firm even when mocked. Verses 13 to 25, Pilate again declares Jesus is innocent, but the crowd cries out, "Crucify him!" Instead, they ask for Barabbas, a rebel, a criminal, a guilty man, and Pilate agrees. Barabbas is released and Jesus is handed over. This is one of the clearest pictures of the gospel. The guilty goes free, the innocent takes his place, and Jesus becomes our substitute. We are the Barabbas set free because Jesus took our place. Verses 30 to 40, verses 26. As Jesus is led, Simon of Cyrene is forced to carry the cross. This moment shows the physical weight of the cross, the cost of what Jesus is about to do. Jesus is carrying not just the cross, but the weight of sin. Following Jesus means recognizing the cost and walking with him. Right, Jesus is completely innocent, yet willingly condemned. The world can reject him, but the truth stands still. Jesus took our place so we could go free. The cross carries a cost, but also brings salvation. So these chapters ask us, what will we do with Jesus? Will we reject him or receive him? And he stood silent before his accusers so we could stand forgiven before God. Jesus took our place. We can't ignore this gift. We need to receive it and follow him and be grateful for eternity. Have a wonderful Saturday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.